Everybody, this is Mr. Rodriguez. So here's another tutorial on a small object drawing. And here I have this small little box. There's a few tips, or I guess let me start off with a warning. I'm going to rush through this a little bit because the last video I made cut off at 8 minutes. So I definitely want to give you, if I'm going to do these, they should be complete. So this is a small object drawing or a simple object drawing. Here I have this white box. One thing that you want to do, especially if you're sort of beginning at this level, is that when you're drawing something like this, it's really important to be able to see the shadows that the light is producing from the box. So I like to put them on my white sheet that I'm working on so I can actually really see all the shadows that happen. If you were to put it directly, let's say like on the table, there's no telling like what color your table is going to be. In class they're brown, so you don't really get to see all the shadows. Like right now you see a couple of shadows, but they're not that strong, so you really get to see them on a light surface like this. So this is what I like to do. I like to put them on an actual white sheet of paper, a light colored sheet of paper. So one of the things that I do want to make sure is that do not ever trace any object that you have. So for example, if I'm going to try to do a drawing of this object, I'm not going to try to trace the object because that would be pointless. All it would do is make a square. It's not actually going to draw a box. So what I want you to do is actually draw a box. So don't ever trace anything because that doesn't matter. It's all about the angle that you're drawing it at. And our angle is this right now, okay? So what I like to do is I like to look at the edges of an object first. So we have this edge here, and then I'll probably move on to the edges on the right and the left. So let me go ahead and begin. If I move the camera a little bit, it's because I want to actually look at my drawing instead of looking at the screen, and it can kind of get like a little bit annoying, but please be patient with me. So this is the angle so far. I'm starting from this one, and then I see this side over here, the right side, coming up kind of like that. So here I have sort of a diamond shape here, and then I have the other side jetting that way. This side's a little flatter than that one. This one's coming up real sharp. This one's a little bit flatter from my perspective. So I'm going to draw it a little bit flatter like this. My lines are kind of long, but that's okay. Also, when I draw, I'm a little scratchy on it, as you can see there. So just sort of be patient with me on that too. All right, so this line comes up. Obviously, that's the side of the box. This is not going to go that long, so I think it's going to go to like right here. So I'm going to keep that. I'll turn this for you guys. So that's coming down like that. Obviously, if this is coming up here, this is also going to be parallel. So that'll come up this way. And then if this is coming that way like that, then that's also parallel. So I'm going to come over here just like that. Now, this isn't a true cube, right? It's a box, so it has a lid on it. So let me maybe draw some of the edges of the box. You see these two don't exactly line up perfectly because the lid is always going to be bigger than the box itself. So that comes out a little bit right there. I think I can follow this up here. So I'll get rid of that in a second. And then this comes up over here. This sticks, I guess the lid sticks out more or less right here. That'll come that way. It'll connect there. This is a little higher here, so that'll come up here. And then I'll just finish that off. Let me bring it in. There we go. That'll come up over here. Okay. I'm going to erase some of these lines on the inside so you guys don't get as confused. So let me take my skinny eraser here. I'll get rid of the inside of the box that we cannot see. Remember, what you want to do is you want to draw what you see, not what you know. You know that a box is square or that a cube is square. That doesn't mean that the angle you're looking at it from is a square. It might look more rectangular because just of how angles work. Okay, so here we have that. Let me get rid of this too right here. Okay, so here I have a decent box. Kind of looks like that so far. All right, what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna take a 4B pencil. Let's see if my camera adjusts. There we go, 4B pencil. It's darker than, remember, a regular number 2 pencil. Adjust. There we go. No, see? Technology, folks. It's unreliable. All right, so you can barely see number 2. This is number 2H. This is 4B, so it's a lot darker, okay? Brightest spot of my form is going to be up here. And then right here, these two sides are basically the same. I might make one a little bit darker than the other just for the sake of having different value levels. So right now I might make this super, super light. Look at how I'm holding my pencil. I'm holding it at the end. I'm not trying to apply barely any pressure at all. So just really light like that. Okay, not too much. Excuse me. Then we have the two sides. So this side over here is gonna be slightly darker. I still want this to be smooth, but solid and a little stronger than the top. So let me fill that in. Now remember, that kind of looks like a gray. Slightly, well, let's see, what would y'all call it? I guess that's like a straight gray. It's not too dark, not too light. It's a regular gray. So let me see if this level is accurate. All right, and you know what? Let me give you a pause here because I don't want the video to cut off. So I'll be right back once I'm done. Okay, so this side is done. Over here, I'm just going to choose for this one to be a little bit darker so that I have two different value ranges, even though right now both sides are kind of the same. But just for the sake of this video and so that you guys can see a couple of different value levels, and I'm going to make this side darker. So all I'm doing is going over my lines. You can cross your lines too. I'm a fan of crossing the lines because it makes the lines sort of like weave into each other. So you have some going down and then some going across. So it just makes it look a little bit more solid. But if you just want to keep it one direction, that's okay too. All right, so I'm going to make this one a little bit darker. I will come back once it's done. Okay, so this side is done. And then what I'm going to do now, all I need to do is look at my shadows. Now if I look right here, I have a really dark line right there at the bottom. And sorry, I'm just trying to adjust the camera. There we go. So I have a really dark line there at the bottom, really dark line there at the bottom, and then I have a couple of shadows. If you can see this shadow, well, this shadow here is real light. This one's medium, whoops. And then where the two shadows overlap over here, it's a lot darker, right? So what I want to do is sort of try to imitate the same. So here I'm going to make this edge real dark. I'm going to make this edge real dark. Try to keep it clean as well with one hand. And then I have my two shadows. So this one's kind of coming across over here. If you only want to do one shadow, that's perfectly fine. Having a lot of shadows might become a little confusing for a viewer, just because we don't think of things having too many shadows. Although if you have more than one shadow, then it kind of shows how much attention you're paying to your piece, and it kind of gives people something more unexpected to look at. So here I have this shadow here. It's going there. I don't want to blend it into that dark line, right? And then I have another shadow over here. And I'm going to make it a tiny bit darker right there. Okay, and here we have a simple object. Simple object drawing of a small white box right there. Okay, hope that helped.